What if the most devastatingly powerful thing you could ever say to someone who walked away from you is absolutely, profoundly nothing at all? Forget angry texts and desperate pleas. What if there's a silent, psychological weapon known to the ancient Stoics that can completely flip the power dynamic and make them question everything they thought they knew about you? Today, we're not just talking about ignoring them. We are breaking down the 5 hidden stages of regret they go through when you choose true silence, and how this process transforms you into the one they can't forget. Let's begin. Do you know what truly haunts a person after they've left someone? It's not the harsh words they never heard, it's the deafening silence they never expected. They thought you'd always be there, didn't they? They gambled on the idea that no matter how many times they pushed you away, you'd just fight harder to prove your worth. They mistakenly believed your love was a guarantee, something they could carelessly lose and still find waiting. They walked away from you fully expecting you to chase, to beg, to break first, but what they never prepared for was your disciplined, unshakable silence. Because your silence is the one thing they cannot control. The moment you stop explaining, stop fighting, stop proving yourself, you completely strip away their perceived power without lifting a finger. They expected anger, pain, long messages filled with explanations. But true, deliberate silence, that leaves them utterly alone with the one thing they often fear the most, their own reflection and the consequences of their actions. At first, they might feel relief. They'll convince themselves you're just giving them space, that you'll come crawling back. But what they fail to realize is that your silence isn't a game. It is a decision. The moment you chose dignified silence over desperate explanation is the moment their ego, which fed on your attention, started to crumble. Your silence doesn't feed their ego, it starves it. It forces them to face the truth they've been running from, that maybe, just maybe, you weren't the weak one. Maybe they were the ones who lost someone truly valuable. They thought they broke you, but your silence is now breaking them in ways they'll never admit. Because silence creates doubt, and doubt is the slowest, most painful poison to an uncertain mind. They'll start checking your social media, rereading old messages, replaying every memory, trying to figure out if they ever really knew you. You see, they wanted you to chase them, because as long as you're chasing, they don't have to feel the full weight of what they've lost. But the moment you go silent, they begin to realize you're not chasing him anymore. You're replacing him with your purpose, your discipline, and your own self-respect. This isn't about revenge. It's about profoundly reclaiming your power. It's about turning the raw pain of heartbreak into fuel for your evolution. It's about mastering emotional discipline so completely that your silence becomes the loudest thing in the room. This is where Stoic wisdom meets the raw effectiveness of psychology, where self-control becomes attraction, where detachment becomes dominance, and where your silence becomes the weapon they never saw coming. So, I'll ask again, what if the strongest thing you could ever do is nothing? If you're done begging for clarity, if you're done waiting for someone who made you an option, then hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and as a declaration of your intent, comment below. I release what I cannot control. Now, let's get started. Principle number 1, silence is not weakness, it's warfare. Understand this. Your silence is the strategic move she never expects because it offers nothing her ego craves. It doesn't confirm her power over you or offer her comfort. When left heartbroken, most men predictably panic. They blow up her phone, pour their hearts out in long texts, searching for the perfect words. But here's the truth. Every word you send her after she walks away is just more proof she still has control. Every message is a thread keeping you tied to someone who already let go. But silence is entirely different. Silence is what happens when a man decides he's done performing, done auditioning for a role in someone's life. It's when he profoundly realizes his energy is valuable and not for someone who treats him like an option. It's when he understands that not responding is the most powerful response of all. Because this silence isn't empty, it is full of unspoken messages. It tells her, with deafening clarity, you don't get to walk away from my life and still hear from me. You don't get to reject me and keep my attention. You don't get both. The moment you go silent, the power dynamic shifts irrevocably. You're no longer reacting, reaching, or available, and that sudden, stark absence becomes incredibly loud in her world. She notices it in the quiet mornings, in the notifications that never come, in the social media views that are no longer there. That silence becomes a vacuum, forcing her to sit with the choice she made. The Stoic Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings." Your silence is now teaching her a lesson her ego was never prepared for, that you're no longer suffering for someone who wasn't willing to suffer for you. What makes silence more powerful than words is that it forces her to create her own version of your story. And the mind, faced with uncertainty, always imagines the worst. They thought they broke you, but your silence is proving they only broke the version of you that tolerated disrespect. You're no longer the one chasing, you're the one being wondered about. Without lifting your finger, principle number 2, the hidden stages they go through. Your silence isn't just something they notice, it's something they feel. And it doesn't hit them all at once. It breaks them down slowly, stage by predictable stage. The first stage is relief. In the beginning, they convince themselves you're just giving them space. Playing a temporary game, their ego whispers, they'll be back, they always come back. They feel a sense of control, believing it's only a matter of time. But what they don't realize is that your silence isn't a pause. It's the final answer. Then comes stage 2, curiosity. Days go by, then weeks, and the message they were so sure they'd get never arrives. That's when the checking starts. They scroll through your social media, watching your stories in secret, looking for any sign that you're still hurting. But the most painful thing they can see is nothing at all. No sad posts, no indirect messages, no proof you're suffering, just silence. And that void of information starts to eat at them. The human mind hates the unknown. That's when stage 3, frustration, kicks in. They might start actively testing you, liking an old picture, posting things they know will trigger you. But when you stay silent, when you don't fall for the bait, it drives them insane, because now, for the first time, they're the one feeling powerless. This leads directly to stage 4, fear. Real, palpable fear. Fear that you're not playing games. Fear that you're really moving on. Fear that someone else is replacing everything they took for granted. The more time that passes, the more their mind creates painful stories. They thought your silence meant weakness, but now it's making them question if they were the weak one all along. Because why would someone who truly loved them let them go so easily? And that's when the final stage hits them, stage 5, regret. Every memory they took for granted starts replaying in their mind. Every time you forgave them, every time you fought for them, those moments hit harder when you're no longer there. They'll never tell anyone how much your silence is breaking them. Their pride won't allow it. They'll act unbothered on the outside while breaking on the inside. But the longer your silence holds, the heavier that regret becomes until they break. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "If you wish to be strong, learn to enjoy being misunderstood." That's exactly what your silence is doing. Letting them misunderstand your strength while you quietly rebuild yourself behind closed doors. Principle number 3, how silence reprograms their mind. Your silence isn't just hurting them, it's actively reprogramming their entire perception of you. When someone walks away, they expect your pain to revolve around them, as proof that they mattered. What they never expect is for you to disappear without a fight. The moment you go silent, the story they've been telling themselves about you starts to fall apart. Every second that passes without a message forces their mind to rewrite the version of you they thought they knew. They likely saw you as someone who would always wait, someone predictable, but silence strips away that false power. Every time they check their phone and find nothing, their mind starts filling in the blanks. Maybe he wasn't as weak as I thought. Maybe he was never chasing me, he was just choosing me. And now that I'm gone, he's simply chosen differently. The human mind can't stand unanswered questions. Did you ever really need them? Were they really that special? The more silence you give, the louder those questions become. And what often breaks them the most isn't the silence itself, it's the maddening facts that they'll likely never know the definitive answer. That doubt rewires their perception of who they thought they were to you. They used to believe they were the prize. Now your silence makes them wonder if they were just being tolerated. What they don't realize is that your silence isn't a punishment, it's a profound reflection. You're not trying to hurt them, you are simply showing them what life feels like without your energy feeding their ego. And the longer your silence holds, the more valuable your absence becomes in their mind. By removing yourself, you force them to finally confront the person in their own mirror. But while they are going through these stages, what should you be doing? How do you ensure your silence is an act of profound strength? Not just passive waiting. Principle 4. Keep your silence powerful through inner work. The hardest part isn't starting the silence. It's staying silent when your heart screams to explain and your ego craves validation. The secret is to understand that silence isn't just what you're not saying. It's who you are becoming while you're saying nothing. Silence only holds power if you are actively growing within it. This is your season to rebuild everything they tried to break. Start working out, start journaling, start rediscovering the version of yourself that existed before they convinced you that you weren't enough. Every morning you choose self-discipline over self-pity. You're silently telling them, I'm not coming back. Every time you heal a part of yourself, you're proving their absence is no longer your weakness. It's your greatest opportunity. Don't just disappear, transform. The most powerful silence is the one that forces them to question if they ever really knew you at all. They're going to regret losing you not because you're silent, but because the person you're becoming would never look twice in their direction again. This isn't about making them miss you, it's about making yourself so whole that their regret becomes completely irrelevant. This leads to the crucial mindset shift. Principle 5. Powerfully reframe the narrative. You didn't get rejected, you got redirected. You didn't get abandoned, you got liberated. It's easy to think she left because you weren't good enough. But here's the Stoic truth. Her leaving wasn't the final judgment on your worth. It was the powerful beginning of your clarity. You didn't lose her, you lost the illusion that she was the one meant for you. And losing a painful illusion is always a victory. Stoicism is the art of perspective. You don't control what happens, you always control how you choose to see it. When you reframe the pain, everything changes. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And you start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That is where power is born. She didn't break you, she revealed you. She shone a light on the cracks you may have been ignoring, the weak spots in your frame, the lack of boundaries, the need for external validation. She didn't destroy you, she gave you the invaluable opportunity to become undestroyable. Now you get to build again, but this time with stronger walls and sharper vision. You are not a victim of her decision, you are the sole, powerful author of what comes next. And this is the ultimate objective. Principle 6. Become the man you would respect and admire. Stop chasing her, stop thinking about her, and start, with relentless focus, becoming him, the version of you that doesn't flinch when someone walks away, the one who doesn't need validation to feel valuable, the one whose grounded presence speaks for him. That's the man you build now, not for revenge, not to prove her wrong, but because you deserve to be that solid. Ask yourself every day, if I met the man I am becoming, would I respect him? Would I trust his word? You stop measuring your worth by her reaction and start measuring it by your own standards. Discipline, integrity, power, stillness. You build in the dark and rise with a palpable weight in your presence. She left. Fine. That's her story. Your story is this. Now you build a life so complete, so aligned with your mission, that her absence doesn't even echo anymore. You don't need to replace her. You need to replace the version of you that relied on her. Because the man who truly knows his worth doesn't chase, argue, or beg. He chooses. And the irony is, by the time she realizes what she lost, the man she once knew will be gone, replaced by someone she no longer has access to. Here's the final truth. Kings, walking away isn't about ego, it's about evolution. You're not doing it to punish her, you're doing it to protect and build you. You've spent enough time explaining yourself, proving yourself, lowering yourself just to be seen. That version of you who chased and overthought is gone. Good riddance, because now you walk with weight. Now your silence has purpose, and anyone who doesn't value your presence no longer deserves to hear your voice. This was never about winning her back. It was about never losing yourself again. She thought you'd break. She thought you'd wait. She never expected you to go silent forever. But now that you have, you've become unforgettable. So here's your final move. Let go completely. Walk away like you mean it. And build a life so grounded, so peaceful, so powerful that even your silence leaves a legacy. If you're done chasing closure, if you're ready to leave the past in dignified silence, hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Spark, and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. If this message hit you, declare it one final time in the comments. I build in silence. I last forever. Let that be your commitment. We sharpen minds, strengthen hearts, and build men and women who don't need to scream to be respected. You've wasted enough time seeking validation. Now, it's time to earn a reputation. And you do that by pushing yourself silently until the world can't help but listen. Stay sharp, stay silent, stay dangerous.